Picture this. Meghan Markle is standing next to Queen Elizabeth at a royal event. Elegant, poised, soaking in the surreal moment. She leans over to Prince Harry with a soft, puzzled look and asks, "Who's that standing next to your grandmother?" Harry turns his head. The man in question? Prince Andrew, the Queen's son, Harry's own uncle, a man whose name is practically taboo in the royal world. And Meghan, supposedly, didn't know who he was. To the public, it felt innocent, even charming. A wide-eyed American actress suddenly thrust into the world of crowns, traditions, and secret handshakes. Of course, she wouldn't recognize every royal, right? But here's the twist. That moment, that tiny casual question, set off alarms behind palace doors. Because as people started digging, that image of Meghan as the clueless outsider didn't quite hold up. Too many coincidences, too many missing photos, too many whispered stories that never made headlines. And now, years later, we're piecing together the full picture. And it's not what Harry, the royals, or the public thought it was. Because what if Meghan wasn't confused? What if she was pretending? And what if that innocent question was the final move in a game that had been playing out for years? Let's rewind. Because this story doesn't begin at Buckingham Palace. It starts in low-lit lounges, billionaire yacht decks, and quiet whispers at Soho House. Meghan's innocent act of not recognizing Prince Andrew raised more than a few eyebrows. To most, the royal family is instantly recognizable, especially someone as infamous as Andrew. Yet Meghan presented herself as completely unaware, reinforcing her carefully crafted image of a humble outsider stepping innocently into royal life. This seemingly genuine moment of ignorance could be seen as charmingly naive, exactly the type of innocence Harry might have fallen for. But behind the charm, critics argue there might have been a deliberate strategy. Was Meghan genuinely new to royal protocols, or was she merely playing the perfect role, downplaying her knowledge to appear harmless and authentic? To truly understand Meghan's strategy, or her genuine innocence, we must examine the early days of her life and career. Born in Los Angeles, Meghan was raised in a city where connections matter, where networking is an essential survival skill. Even during her teenage years, Meghan demonstrated an early understanding of the importance of building relationships. Friends and acquaintances from her childhood recall her as ambitious, determined, and charming. Someone who naturally made people feel at ease. It's a skill that would serve her well in Hollywood and eventually within royal circles. Before stepping onto the global stage as a royal bride, Meghan spent years meticulously building her public image. Her acting career, while successful, never fully catapulted her into A-list status. But Meghan understood early on that fame wasn't merely about talent or landing the biggest roles. It was also about positioning oneself strategically. Long before the world knew her as Rachel Zane from Suits, Meghan was already laying the groundwork for her ascent, carefully curating her image through blogs, social media, and strategic appearances at events. One intriguing connection from Meghan's past involves footballer Ashley Cole. Before her royal ascent, Meghan reportedly sought out high-profile connections within the UK celebrity circuit. A British journalist recalls a candid conversation with Meghan back when she was a relatively unknown actress. Over drinks in a London bar, Meghan casually admitted she had been messaging Ashley Cole, showing clear interest in connecting with prominent figures. However, the journalist promptly warned her about Cole's controversial reputation, a man known for his tabloid scandals and complicated relationships. Meghan's reaction was telling. Her expression instantly shifted from casual confidence to genuine concern, realizing immediately the potential risk to her carefully cultivated image. This moment hinted that Meghan was not only aware of the power of strategic connections, but also understood the dangers of aligning with the wrong people. Was her approach to Ashley Cole just a naive mistake, or part of a calculated attempt to insert herself into influential circles? The Ashley Cole incident also highlights Meghan's adaptability. Upon realizing her error, Meghan swiftly shifted tactics, carefully distancing herself from the footballer without causing unnecessary drama. It was a subtle yet decisive move, indicative of her growing sophistication in managing her public persona. Observers noted that from this point onward, Meghan's public interactions became increasingly guarded. She learned to control her narrative tightly, avoiding any relationships that could derail her carefully laid plans. The early 2000s marked another fascinating chapter in Meghan's life, during which she began developing connections that would later prove pivotal. During her time at Northwestern University, Meghan was deeply involved in social circles that often intersected with influential and affluent figures. Her sorority sisters recall her frequent absences, mysterious yet intriguing disappearances that Meghan rarely explained in detail. Friends at the time simply assumed these were typical college escapades, but hindsight paints these absences in a different light. Meghan wasn't just exploring her independence, she was perhaps unknowingly laying a foundation of influential relationships that would dramatically shape her future. The billionaire playground. This phrase aptly describes the luxurious yet secretive social scene Meghan began to frequent during her young adult years. Among these influential billionaires was Ewan Relly, an incredibly wealthy and well-connected figure known for his proximity to Prince Andrew. Though relatively unknown to the general public, Relly operated within the same elite networks that included royalty, international celebrities, and influential financiers. One of the most mysterious chapters of Meghan's past involves the 3 months she reportedly spent in Spain during her college years. Official university records confirm Meghan's enrollment in a study abroad program in Spain. Yet, oddly, Meghan herself rarely mentions this significant period in her life. Interviews, biographies, and even her carefully curated social media posts have remained notably silent about this timeframe. Those familiar with the exclusive circles Meghan frequented speculate that Spain might have served merely as a convenient cover story. Instead, insiders suggest Meghan was often aboard luxury yachts cruising through the Mediterranean. These voyages weren't casual trips. They were exclusive events attended by the ultra-wealthy, influential businessmen, celebrities, and even royalty. Such elite social settings offered unmatched opportunities for networking and personal advancement. But why would Meghan avoid mentioning such glamorous experiences? One plausible reason is discretion. Associating publicly with billionaires and royalty before officially entering the royal sphere could have undermined her carefully crafted narrative as an outsider who organically found love with a prince. Meghan was evidently aware that overtly displaying her previous connections to the ultra-rich might taint her future public image. Another critical angle involves the financial aspect. At that time, Meghan was far from wealthy, still an aspiring actress and student. Yet she managed to afford extended stays in luxurious settings, prompting questions about who financed these extravagant trips. Was Meghan already receiving support or sponsorship from wealthy friends or benefactors she'd carefully cultivated? This silence about her months in Spain leaves room for speculation and intrigue. Meghan's time in Europe wasn't just a youthful adventure. It was potentially a calculated move to build the essential relationships and social capital that would later be invaluable. Each yacht party, each private event, each hidden encounter could have been carefully woven threads in the intricate fabric of Meghan's rise. Ultimately, Meghan's missing months in Spain symbolize the broader enigma surrounding her strategic ascent. Whether intentionally hidden or quietly omitted, these months represent a carefully concealed yet crucial chapter in the story of Meghan Markle's climb to royalty. In 2012, Meghan Markle traveled to Hong Kong, ostensibly as part of promotional activities for the TV show Suits. At this point, Suits had yet to become a major international hit, and Meghan herself was not yet a household name. Despite this, her presence in Hong Kong was marked by unusually high-profile treatment. She attended lavish events, stayed at luxurious accommodations, and participated in exclusive gatherings normally reserved for major celebrities or influential figures. One event from this trip stood out in particular, a televised interview Meghan gave to a Hong Kong-based network. During this now infamous segment, Meghan casually mentioned the presence of royalty, specifically referencing Prince Andrew, who was indeed confirmed to be in Hong Kong around the same time frame. Her acknowledgement of Andrew's proximity implied familiarity, or at least awareness, of his movements and the circles he occupied. However, what makes this interview particularly intriguing is its complete disappearance from the internet. Shortly after Meghan's rise to global prominence as Prince Harry's partner, attempts to locate footage of this particular interview consistently failed. Despite numerous efforts by media outlets and curious investigators, every trace of the video had vanished, seemingly scrubbed clean. The deliberate removal of this interview raises serious questions. Why would Meghan, or those managing her image, want this specific piece of media erased from public memory? The most plausible explanation suggests that any documented link to Prince Andrew before Meghan's official entry into royal life could contradict the carefully curated narrative of her as an outsider unfamiliar with the royal world. The meticulous elimination of this content demonstrates Meghan's deep awareness and careful management of her public image, hinting at a proactive strategy aimed at avoiding controversy. Removing this evidence of her previous awareness of Prince Andrew's activities and social circles helped Meghan maintain her carefully constructed public persona, emphasizing her innocence and outsider status. Ultimately, this scrubbed Hong Kong interview highlights a recurring theme in Meghan's story: strategic image management. The deliberate erasure of this footage isn't just about maintaining privacy. It underscores the extent to which Meghan, or those supporting her, would go to shape public perception, ensuring nothing jeopardized her carefully orchestrated ascent to royalty. Another intriguing pattern emerges when examining Meghan Markle's presence, or lack thereof, at various elite events prior to her royal engagement. Despite her documented attendance, Meghan often managed to avoid appearing in official photographs or public media coverage. It was almost as if she were intentionally invisible, slipping quietly in and out of prestigious gatherings unnoticed. One notable example was the Novak Djokovic Foundation Gala held in New York. Meghan attended this star-studded event, a glittering affair packed with celebrities and influential figures. Yet remarkably, no official images or press mentions included Meghan. Photographers captured numerous guests, but Meghan seemed to have effortlessly avoided every camera lens. Interestingly, Prince Andrew was also rumored to be in New York at this time, despite conflicting official reports that placed him elsewhere. This discrepancy suggests that Meghan and Andrew may have shared proximity at exclusive gatherings without public acknowledgement. Did Meghan intentionally avoid the cameras, understanding that photographic evidence of her proximity to Andrew might compromise her carefully curated image? This pattern repeated itself at multiple prestigious events, raising further suspicion about Meghan's visibility strategy. Her attendance at these exclusive gatherings wasn't about gaining publicity, but rather about strategically building connections behind closed doors. Maintaining invisibility allowed Meghan to network discreetly, embedding herself within influential circles without attracting unwanted attention. Such intentional invisibility requires significant effort and planning. Meghan or her associates would have needed to actively coordinate her appearances to ensure she avoided media exposure, a challenging feat considering the omnipresence of paparazzi at such high-profile events. The successful execution of this strategy suggests a meticulous approach to public image management. Ultimately, Meghan's consistent invisibility at elite events underscores a strategic awareness of optics and public perception. By deliberately remaining under the radar, Meghan was able to quietly cultivate valuable relationships without compromising her future narrative as an outsider unaware of the inner workings of royal and celebrity circles. It was a sophisticated balancing act, demonstrating her advanced understanding of public relations long before officially joining the royal family. Central to Meghan Markle's rise through elite social circles was her strategic relationship with Soho House, an exclusive members-only club known for its high-profile clientele. Founded and frequented by influential figures, celebrities, and billionaires, Soho House provided Meghan with the perfect environment for discreet networking. Her association with this prestigious club significantly expanded her social reach, quietly placing her within proximity to some of the most powerful and connected individuals globally. Notably, Soho House was backed by billionaire Ron Burkle, a key player in Meghan's narrative. Burkle, with known connections to various royals and global elites, became instrumental in facilitating Meghan's entrance into rarefied social spheres. Sources suggest that Meghan was frequently flown privately by Burkle to exclusive events and gatherings. These trips were not merely luxury experiences, they were strategic opportunities designed for networking and cultivating relationships with influential personalities. Through Soho House events, Meghan found herself consistently mingling with figures who held substantial sway in international business, entertainment, and even royal circles. Crucially, Prince Andrew himself was known to be closely associated with several members and patrons of Soho House, further strengthening the likelihood of Meghan's strategic positioning in overlapping social networks. Meghan's presence at Soho House wasn't just passive attendance. It was an active pursuit of relationships with significant social capital. Whether attending exclusive dinners, private parties, or quiet retreats, Meghan used these opportunities to subtly embed herself within networks that would later prove invaluable in her ascent to royalty. This calculated approach was evident in Meghan's careful image management during her interactions at Soho House events. Despite her active participation, Meghan maintained a carefully cultivated profile, rarely captured in official photographs or mentioned prominently in media coverage. This invisibility allowed her to navigate elite circles without public scrutiny, preserving her image as an authentic and relatable outsider while building an influential network. Ultimately, Meghan's association with Soho House and billionaire connections reveals a sophisticated approach to social mobility and strategic networking. Her deliberate and discreet actions within these elite spaces provided the necessary groundwork for her seamless integration into royal life, further underscoring her strategic prowess long before becoming the Duchess of Sussex. When Prince Harry introduced Meghan to his family, believing he was bringing a complete outsider into the fold, was he genuinely unaware of her history, or was he simply in denial? Meghan, it seems, played her cards perfectly, carefully downplaying her past and allowing Harry to believe the fairy tale narrative that suited both their interests. So, when Meghan innocently asked, "Who's that standing next to your grandmother?" perhaps she wasn't clueless at all. Perhaps it was a calculated move, the final touch in a brilliant strategy that brought her exactly where she intended to be, at the very heart of the royal family.